I found out about a new store. It's called Moderation. I hear they have everything in there. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip the Meeple on duty, and today we are talking more about a question rather than any answers. Just so you know, I don't really have any answers. But the question came up in my head when I played my wife. We got going on Tokaido Duo for our 10 by 5 challenge. And the question I had was because I got curious with the number of components. I can just crack it open here real quick. So you have the rules book, you have the board, and then you have the components in here. And I got curious, and I have these 4x6 photo card photo holders that come in these wonderful 24-pack carriers, and I was curious, all the game components will fit in this little box just fine and dandy without any problems. The problem comes in the player board and the rules. Now the rules wouldn't be a hard reformat to get to fit inside here, just some scanning and some editing work to slide it down to a scale that works. The problem becomes the board, because the board, well, that's folded in half. Come on. This is the full size. This will never go into the space that I want it to as is. And my thought was, well, neoprene won't work either because that's too stiff and rigid and won't fold down nicely. But cloth would fold down really nicely. For this game, it would be a very nice aesthetic, and it would create the ability to get it into this and get this off my shelf space, which, not that I want the game gone, but I've been realizing that I need to purge again, and if I don't want to purge, I have to consolidate, and I'm really looking hard at how I consolidate well and get all this stuff taken care of. Another one that came to mind when I was looking at that is Pico. This is another great 2-player abstract strategy war game that is actually really fun. Me and Heather played it a couple of times, but it wasn't really clicking fast for her, so we haven't played it since. But it's a weird box shape anyways. And then this is the board, which is this huge board. Gorgeous board. I'm not going to lie. This is a gorgeous board. They did a great job on it. But this is all the components, which again, easily, handedly goes into one of these little boards, except for this guy. Heck, even the rules almost managed to make it in there. Because there's not much to the rule book either. And I was like, man, that'd be another great candidate for cloth. So why don't they use cloth? It would save a lot of room in some cases. Like, I'm going to show off Flamecraft here really quick, because Flamecraft did something really neat. They used the neoprene mat that rolls up, but this is a rather long board. It's not like a big rectangle. It's more of a long, skinny rectangle. And you roll it up, and it has room in the box that it fits. And it takes up a lot less room than if you had a cardboard lid that sat, or a cardboard game board that sat on top of it. The one I want to really show off that I think would be kind of interesting to see how much room you would save is Ticket to Ride. Now, I'm not going to unfold this, but this is one of 6 panels. So this is what is that? It would be a 2x3 board. But when you look at the components underneath, the box is this size to house the board. And that's really about it. I think you could easily cut this in half and still have enough room with a folded board. I think I'm going to attempt this. I got to find a good scan of it, or figure out a way to scan it, or get a really good picture of it myself. Now, I will throw this out there, because that is, I'm definitely standing on some ground that is a little dangerous. So I will make these disclaimers. Do I think taking a game that has been produced and made by somebody and scanning it and giving out copies so people can make that game themselves? No. I think that's a very bad idea. I think that is theft, is really what it is. And I'm not for it, because those who produce, most of the people that produce board games are not raking in money hand over fist. Even like Ticket to Ride and all that stuff. If you're going to attempt something like this, this is for your own personal use, or should be for your own personal use. You should never distribute those files or anything like that. Most of the time, if I do a project like this, once I am done, I destroy those, destroy the game or the files, images, and stuff like that after I'm done, because I'm done with the project. Do I think experimenting with games like this and pushing them into different spaces and things like that on a personal level is okay? Yes. Yes, I do believe it is okay. Unless you have the express consent or non-consent of people from the producers to do so, either produce it or not. A good example of this is the Lords of Waterdeep we just played on the mat, playing mat that Braden bought. That's neoprene. That sucker is huge, but it sets it up very nicely. The man recreated all the artwork himself and made it look gorgeous. And on that, he put all his time and work. That's freely acceptable. So going on to making a good scan or picture, and then transferring them onto cloth. Like, I know there are companies, I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. I will try and go and find a couple of links that I know do it. I want to say Spoonflower or something like that, but they print images that you give them directly onto fabric. And then it's just a simple stitch along the edge to make sure it doesn't fray and stuff like that. And then it can fold down as small as you want to make it and go nicely. So, all that being said, that's kind of the arguments here. My question is I don't know why. Like, I know Flamecraft originally on Kickstarter, it had a cloth plate, instead of being neoprene, it was just cloth. And I don't know why they switched. I think it was for the sturdiness value. I'm not 100% sure on that one, why Cardboard Alchemy switched from cloth player board to a neoprene one. I think it was just requested a lot. So I don't know why more companies don't use cloth boards. I think that would be a slam dunk for a lot of them to have that space saving thing, because and I get the standard boxes are easier to see and easier to on the shelves and stand out more and give you more room for artwork on your cover than if you had these small little boxes. But you can only have so many big boxes versus you can have a ton more tiny boxes. At this point, I'm kind of curious to see what I could get away with on a number of the games behind me. And I know there are some custom box printing companies out there. While they may get a little expensive, it might be worth it to save myself quite a bit of space. That's really all I had. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on cloth boards are and why you think that they're not as acceptable. I know there's some out there, but it's not very widely used. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of why that is, and whether you would play with actual cloth play mats and stuff like that rather than either neoprene or the cardboard that we're used to. So we'll see you guys next time, and until then, bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.